Welcome into today's broadcast right here at Cog Hill Farm. Now, Peaches wouldn't let Nugget into the house for this episode, so here's Jason, Brooke, and our chicken master, Marycarl.
What is up, everybody? This is another episode of the Cogcast podcast, episode number
57?
I think it's 58.
We should have looked at that.
I forgot. It's either 57 or 58. I think it's 58.
I don't even think.
I'm feeling
so.
confident it's 58.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
58. Welcome to the Cogcast podcast. This is episode 58.
58.
With a question mark.
We'll edit all the other out and won't nobody know we didn't know what episode it was.
I won't edit. There's no we in that. I won't edit anything out. If I do, it'll be non-existent.
It is, and we're a day late today. But that's just, y'all know what's going on over here. It's pure craziness that's going on over here. And we have spent the last 30 minutes looking for Jason's glasses. You weren't supposed to tell nobody that. I actually thought my glasses were gone. My old pair. I done lost my new pair. I just knew these were gone. I've already looked prior. Days prior.
Oh, you didn't tell me this.
Yeah, I had already looked days prior.
So he thought he left them at my mom's, and so he just walked over there and tore her house apart and didn't find them and came back empty-handed. I heard the car door shutting. I heard him come back in. I didn't even ask him if he found them because I knew he didn't. So I just knew we weren't going to find them. So I came up before he did. I said, "Are you ready for the podcast?" He said, "Yep, everything's ready." So I come up here and I pull my chair out. And when I pulled my chair out, there were the glasses on the ground under my chair.
I had no idea.
I give up. I
have no, I just knew. I remember the last place I had them. I told you when we met with the architect, Mr. Joe Dobbs, about the house.
He's not in this vicinity, and your glasses were here. So,
oh man!
Look, I thought that I had gotten Marycarl just about grown up.
Yeah.
And here I am, still dealing with a toddler.
Me forgetting things is the norm, though. And you know what I can't figure out, though?
What? I
do pretty good with my sunglasses. Keeping up with
Hush, you don't even need to talk about that because you know what's happening.
But my eyeglasses are what I have an issue with.
I'm looking at those old sunglasses over there thinking.
And that's my old ones. And my new ones are downstairs. I wonder why that is.
Well, as we've been working over there on the 40, you sit tools down everywhere and you can't find them. And I told you the other day, I said, look, when you set them down, don't set them down on the ground. Set them down on some bright colored piece of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work. He set them down in the grass again.
My mind is just...
Well, it's always been like that. This is not...
Oh, yeah, this isn't...
You can't say that this is related to the move.
No, I'm not saying it's related to the move. That's just how my mind works.
Well, we just got to work on putting it down somewhere where you'll see it. Not putting it down in the grass.
And one thing I did do is I bought some bright colored straps, which...
For your sunglasses.
For my sunglasses, so I'm going to buy one for my regular glasses.
I don't know if that's going to help.
I think it will.
We need some for all the tools.
I haven't lost my sunglasses.
Well.
I thought about, we've been using the measuring tapes a lot, and we got 2 that are fixing to go.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it's 3.
That are fixing to go?
One of them was fixing to break on the end. You know what happens when they're over.
That's right.
And I thought that when I go buy some new measuring tapes, they're going to be fluorescent orange.
Or either you can paint them fluorescent orange.
Every one of them. They make them green, but the fluorescent orange ones really stand out.
Well.
That's what I'm going to do.
I am not trying to toot my own horn, but I don't lose things the way you do.
No, I don't. Probably the majority of the population doesn't lose things the way I do.
But I will tell you that your daughter is following in your footsteps.
She is.
Because there is... every day at least once,
yeah.
Mama, have you seen such and such?
Yeah.
And I'm like, baby, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, she's the same way. And they're like super creative people have that. I think that's what that is. There's
maybe because I am dumb when it comes to creative.
I think there's some kind of they work hand in hand together. That people that forget a lot of stuff or
well, I just try to just try to bear with y'all and hold my cool.
You do well.
Well, I was about to lose it this morning. I'm not going to lie to you. I had just said, I don't care if he finds his glasses because this is getting ridiculous. And it's always like when we have to have them. I mean, he's been missing them. What day did we meet with the architect? Last Wednesday or so? These glasses have been missing since then. And I'm just now being told about it today, which is a good thing because I didn't want to know about it.
Oh, me. Yeah. Well, I've looked for them hard before I spent the last, 2 or 3 days at the 40.
Yes. And
because we've been hitting the 40 hard. And I'm not talking about 40-ounce beers. We've been hitting the 40. We've been hitting the 40 hard. Y'all see the next videos coming up. We've been on it.
We're tired. We've been in the sun. Even though I had a hat on protecting my face, you can see my raccoon eyes where I had sunglasses on. We've been working outside a lot.
A lot.
And it's been hot.
It has been hot. Yesterday
was really hot.
The day before yesterday was awesome.
I don't know about that.
It was. Well, see, me and Arlo stayed there.
Day before yesterday, though, I was on the tractor, and that tractor gets so hot.
That's true. You
from
were
the
on
engine.
The tractor. You were on the tractor, and
this won't be in the video, but we had a pipe. What? We had a pipe put in at the entrance of our driveway because we told y'all that somebody previously lived there years ago, and so his entrance to the driveway had a little dip down, and it just constantly was wearing away.
And when we had
when we were pulling a trailer or anything,
Greg bringing the guys that are doing our site work, bringing the dozer and stuff, when
you just bottom out.
He hits that dip, he bottoms out, and eventually, like he told me, he said eventually, especially when we start all this construction,
it's going to tear that pavement up.
The asphalt's going to start getting
and
chipped away.
He priced us, picking us up a pipe and then him digging the hole out, but me putting the pipe in and covering it up with the tractor.
Right.
And so we had him go ahead and do that because we knew as time goes on, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And Mama's tiny house is coming, and that was going to bottom out.
Yeah. And speaking of tiny house, I got a message this morning asking, when are we going to see this tiny house? Y'all keep talking about this tiny house, and we have not seen this tiny house. But let me finish about the
tractor.
Okay.
So he dug out the hole, and we put the pipe, we centered the pipe, we set it down in there, and he had piled me up a bunch of red dirt that was suitable for covering this pipe up. But it was about 600 feet from where the pipe was. And so I started counting them.
Yeah, it was a good ways.
What do you see?
Oh, never mind. Go ahead. Your shirt's red, and my record is red, and I thought we wasn't recording. I'm sorry.
So.
Sorry. I was about to freak out. We was going to start all over again, which we have done before in the past.
I can handle that. I thought I had this off. Sorry. So I started counting it, and on trip number 26, I quit counting. That's how many times I went back and forth with loads of dirt.
See, that's how mine and your brains are different. I never would have been counting loads of dirt.
I am so numerical. I mean, I can remember being younger and just counting everything. Is that bonkers? To you, it is.
It is. And I remember, too, to show you the difference is that, where I used to work at the dealership at Reliable, we always have a super awesome Christmas party. And they were so generous. Bill and Donna, they were so generous. And they would always have these little games. And they got where they would, bring in Christmas M&Ms or whatever. And you were supposed to guess how many it was. Of course, I would say 250, and it'd be 3,000.
Yeah.
And you would always be so close. Me, I'd be on the other end of the spectrum. I was never remotely close. So I guess that shows the difference of counting.
When I was little, we used to shop at the Piggly Wiggly, which is no longer there.
Right.
And they had, in the summertime, I was probably 9 years old, I guess. Mm-hmm. They had this display, and it was Pepsi, because we have a Pepsi bottling company here in Selma. And so they had this big can, and it was a fake can, cylinder, and it was filled with canned Pepsis and 2-liter bottles of Pepsi products. And so you had these little forms to fill out, and whoever got closest to the number won all those Pepsis.
Right.
Me, at 8 or 9 years old, won.
I want to think you won several of the Christmas party things.
I won, and
What'd you win?
Oh, all the Pepsis. It was cases stacked up all around it. It was that cylinder.
How long did it take y'all to drink all
a long time, and it was not just Pepsis. It was everything. Sunkiss, Dr. Pepper. It was everything they made.
Oh my gracious!
And so it was cases stacked around, and then that cylinder full. And I don't know how long we kept that big giant thing.
Yeah,
it was about this tall, and they had it filled with canned drinks, and I won it. So.
That's crazy.
Back to the pipe. So
back to your pipe.
I quit counting how many loads it took me, but I will tell you how many hours it took me. About 4 or 5 hours.
It took a while
to shuttle that dirt back and forth because it was more than a dump truck load that he had piled up for me that he did with his dozer.
Yep.
But we needed something that would pack well because we're going to be driving back and forth over it. And so he found something that was good and packable, and I saved us some money by me doing the work. And I'm not complaining about doing it, but I was hot. You were saying it felt pretty good. You were doing something in the wide open. I was on the tractor.
I was working on the new pasture.
The engine gets very hot.
Yeah.
And on my legs, and you just get hot all over because there's no way to cool you off. And it just amplifies the sun.
Yeah, it's well.
I had a hat on. I was covered from the sun, but that didn't mean it wasn't hot.
Yesterday was, I don't know, maybe it's because
we were tired.
I've been working, I've spent the night at the 40, me and Arlo, for, was it 2 days or 3 days?
2 days.
And so me and him would get up early because we're working on the new pastures.
Right.
And that'll be the next couple of videos. And so me and him would get up and start working. And usually we'd get out there, I know, we'd wake up, and usually we were outside by 8:30, piddling, feeding the pigs, and then we'd start working on the pasture. And, you were here doing all the chores and homeschooling, and you'd get out there probably around lunchtime. But those mornings were so comfortable.
It wasn't comfortable when I got there.
Yesterday, it was not that comfortable. Even yesterday morning, it wasn't that comfortable.
Well, I spent a lot of time here feeding yesterday. I describe it as we have days that don't require so much attention because we've done a jam-up job the day before, and then there's days where everything has to be done.
Right.
And yesterday was one of those everything had to be done, and boy, I tell you, you say you felt, relief from the heat, but it was hot.
It was hot. It was, we had been working all day yesterday on the pasture, and about 4:30, we were halfway through.
Halfway through with the next to the last run.
Yep.
And Jason was like, well, we only got 2 more things left. Well, I had some chicken in the crock pot because I knew it was going to be late. And Marycarl stayed home, and my mom's, of course, packing up stuff. So she and her were kind of tag teaming, trying to pack up stuff. And so I knew I had to cook some things to go with that chicken. And I knew that it was going to be about 45 minutes for a drive home. And we were going to finish up, which would have put us at, 6:30 leaving?
Yeah, probably 6:30 leaving. But
I told you, I said, let's stop.
I'm the world's worst about just keep pushing. And then because I'm tired, but my mind's occupied of what we're doing, so I don't pay attention to the tiredness and how hot I am and how exhausted we are.
Yeah.
So when I do stop, it's just a total crash.
And I usually don't say, let's stop.
You did.
I did. I said, let's stop. I said, we've got the wire rolled out, so we're halfway through with the back run. I said, let's just quit. Let's just leave it right here. We left the tractor sitting right there. We left the truck sitting right there, and Jason drove home with me in my car. And
I actually caught myself dozing off
on the way home. Well, I knew that you were exhausted. And
then when we got home last night, I almost didn't want to take a shower because I was just so tired. And the next thing I know, I took a shower. I laid down, and it was a little bit after 8 I don't remember anything because I was
Marycarl
gone.
said, "Mama, where's Daddy?" I said, "I think he's laying down."
Yeah. Because me and her usually watch TV or something.
Her mouth was wide. She was like, because that's not the norm.
That's
Usually
not the
you're a lot
norm.
later than we are. So,
yeah, I was gone.
be glad I told you to quit.
I'm so glad you told me to quit.
Are you recharged?
I am. I'm good.
I'm not. I'm not. Let me tell you why. I don't even know if you heard this, but so last night somebody comes in the room at 1:30 in the morning. You told me you cut that down.
I did, but it jumped back up.
And said, "Mama." I said, "What?" "I lost my tooth." I said, "Huh?" Well, she had a molar, meaning Marycarl had a molar that was loose earlier in the day yesterday. And she showed it to me before we went to bed. And it was, cocked sideways and all that.
Right.
1:30, she brought me. I brought it with me so you could see it.
In the middle of the night?
Yeah, you didn't hear it.
You brought it with you?
Yeah, I brought it with me. That was 1:30. And I said, "Okay." I don't know what she wanted me to do with it, but
that's funny.
I said, "Put it on the nightstand." And she did. And then my wheels start turning. I don't think I would have woke up. Had she not brought the tooth, I don't think I would have woke up. But when she woke me up, I just stayed awake. And I'm now deciding that with 29 days left, we're not going to get everything done.
And I think the opposite. I think we'll be fine.
Well,
I think it's going to be close, but I don't think it's going to be.
I decided last night that we're not going to get it done. And I also decided that we haven't started putting any furniture in the pod because Jason wants to put all the boxes in first and then kind of jam the furniture up next to the boxes to create a barrier so things will stay. And I'm looking at an armoire in our bedroom last night, and I'm thinking, that thing is super heavy. And then I decided that we have some pallet forks that are ordered for our tractor. And actually we had some special guests come from Texas.
Yes.
Miss Chris and Mr. Dwayne, and they brought me a set of clamp-on pallet forks.
Which is awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I was thinking we could put those clamp-on pallet forks on the big O and drive around to the side of the house and take the armoire out the back door onto the deck and put it on the tractor and bring it around.
That's a good idea.
1:30, that was what I was thinking.
That's a good idea.
I know. I thought the same thing, and I said, you know what? Every piece of furniture that'll go out that back door, that's what we can do.
We could do the couch that way.
No, we can't do the couch.
You don't think?
No, I don't think so. But I do think we can do the heavy furniture.
Yeah.
That piece of furniture that's in the foyer, I think we can go out the back door with it and put it on the tractor.
Now that I'm thinking, though, we really don't have that much.
No, we don't have that much furniture. But I've been worried about how we're going to pick it up because I have a tendency to pull a muscle in my neck when I pick up heavy stuff.
You don't need to.
And you can't pick it up by yourself. We do have a dolly. But that doesn't mean that there doesn't still require muscle.
Yeah.
And you can't do it by yourself.
I do got a couple of buddies that come. I know we hate
furniture.
asking help, but
we're going to do this.
Okay.
And we're going to do it with the tractor. And I decided that at 1:30 this morning. I said to myself, she woke me up for the tooth, and I might as well get something mentally accomplished, and that's what I accomplished.
There you go.
Be proud.
I'm proud.
I'm proud too.
That is a good idea about the tractor.
Because first I was thinking the bucket. I was like, I wonder if that armoire can go in that bucket. And then I said, you know what? It's going to damage it. It's going to damage if we try to put that piece of furniture in that bucket. Yeah. But the pallet forks sitting there.
I think that will work.
It will work. It will work.
I think that will. That's the. I like the way our house is here. Has off the ground and stuff. It looks beautiful, but getting furniture in and out becomes
the front is elevated higher than the back, and
way
so
higher.
When we try to go down the stairs in the front, you're just I don't even know. I'm surprised I hadn't counted those stairs, but I probably have at one point or another. But it's a lot of stairs in the front.
It is a lot.
And
of
the back
stairs.
is 3 foot off the ground, so we can pull the tractor right up to the back deck and use that as like a loading
mattresses.
dock.
2 mattresses are heavy.
Mattresses are heavy.
And what makes mattresses
but
so
we only
hard
have
is
one
they're so
set.
awkward because they just fold and bend, and you're trying to pick up this way and then fighting it left and right. So yeah, that will help with a mattress too.
We have the 2 twins that are up here, which won't be a big deal.
No.
But the king size will be
Yes.
kind of awkward. So,
but that will work good.
That's what I thought. But the tractor's at the other farm, so we got to get it back over here, and we have 29 days to do this. So
it'll work. I mean, look, the pastures.
Yeah.
That was the biggest. To me, that was the biggest thing.
Well, we'll have enclosures for our animals.
Yep.
We will have places for our animals to go in a fence. But we planned on transforming one of the equipment trailers into the Silky house, and that trailer has flat tires that's at Jason Steady's work. The tires are an odd size.
It's like goes on an 18-wheeler.
And the tires cost like $300 a piece. So buying 2 tires would be $600, and we plan on taking it off that axle anyway.
Well, not only that, just buying the tires, half the battle finding somebody to mount or
your daddy told me where to take them if I find used tires. So I've been talking to him about how to potentially get a used tires to go on that trailer so we can haul it over to the 40. But we've got a second plan for the Silkies, and hopefully that'll all work out. But see, we got to put the peacock enclosure together, which is going to be an all-day thing. And me trying to help you with that is just a lost cause because I just stink when it comes to putting stuff together.
But we could double team. I could do that while you pack and start loading up.
I'd be better putting stuff together than I would packing boxes. I don't do well at that either. So I'll just count the boxes in the pod while you put it together.
Oh, me.
And then we have Nuggets thing, which won't be that big of a deal. Probably 4 hours to put it together, 2 to 4 hours.
Yeah, probably so.
We need to get that done.
Yeah.
But they did tell us, if we don't have everything done by the time they get moved in, the animals can stay. We can take care of them until we get them moved. So, and then we have 2 buildings here that we want to move. I'm hoping that the pallet forks will help to lift that up so we can maneuver it. And
we'll have to borrow Dad's trailer for that.
Wow.
Our trailer's only 7 foot wide. Each of those buildings are 8 foot. So they're not going to fit on our trailer.
I hadn't even thought about that. That's my pouty face. So you hadn't thought about how we're going to move those buildings?
I thought we were going to pay them people that did the tiny house and come get those buildings and move them at one time.
I hadn't even talked to anybody about moving them though.
I know.
We're 29 days away.
Well, it was, you called them about the tiny house and it was like 5 days later they could get it, but then Hurricane Ida came.
It's also not moved yet, and we're planning on having that moved on Tuesday.
And that's what I was getting back to with somebody saying that we've been talking about the tiny house and haven't shown it, hadn't done anything. We keep talking about it. Well, the tiny house was supposed to have been here last week.
Yeah.
But Hurricane Ida came, and that disrupted everything because they couldn't move in the rain.
Well, then
it was too wet and all this, and so that backed them all the way up. And so then it's Labor Day weekend, so that's another extra day. So we're supposed to be here Wednesday of this week, right?
No, tomorrow.
I thought it was Tuesday.
No.
Okay.
And actually, they were supposed to move it Friday, and then they talked to me, and they said they had a driver out. There's so much COVID going around.
Right.
People are sick, and their employees are down, and you can't work if you're sick, and we certainly don't want them to. But that put it off until what I was thinking would be Monday, and he was like, "Nope, we're not working Monday. Monday's Labor Day." Well, I don't even know what day it is these days, so I said, okay. He said, I promise you we'll get it Tuesday. Okay, so here's another thing.
Yeah.
All right, so we need to have somewhere to live October 5th. We have our camper.
Right.
But Mama's is going to be the tiny house.
Right.
All right, so we had to cut all the plumbing drains and supply lines because you can't move that with all that stuff hanging down.
Right.
And power.
Right.
We cut all that out so we can move it. And you have to connect all that back up.
Yeah, that would take a day.
That's another day. So we're down to like 20 days.
20 days.
And we're going to be okay.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
We're going to be okay.
Yep.
So, on a positive note, Marycarl has taken over what used to be my Instagram, which I don't really know how all that stuff works. I'm not very good at, I can do Facebook. But the Instagram part, she basically used it to look at other people's stuff, and she followed people, and that's what I had it for. And so I had the bright idea to let her have my Instagram. And so we did that. And it's, how long she had it? A couple of months?
Yeah, a couple of months, I say.
I ought to be able to count those days, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I would think so.
So we have intended on sharing this several times, and we forgot every time. But if y'all, Marycarl loves to share pictures. She loves to keep active on Instagram. And her, what do you call it?
Her name, Instagram, is MC Cog Hill Farm.
The letter C, Cog, C-O-G, Hill, H-I-L-L, Farm, F-A-R-M.
And I'll try to put a link down below to it as well.
I don't know how to do that, so I won't help you with that. But she enjoys seeing how many likes she gets on her pictures. She enjoys seeing what people write.
Yes.
And we're not even going to tell her we mentioned this. She's just going to come and tell us, Mama, I got so many likes on this picture.
Well, she's close to 1,000 followers. Last time I checked, she was like 20 away.
And I think that those people are not necessarily Cog Hill people, because how would they know about it?
And a lot of them are probably your friends too.
Yeah.
Because it used to, it's your account.
It is. But she puts a lot of her birds, which are in her room, and we don't post much of that on our.
We don't. It's a lot of her parrots.
Yeah, her parrots.
Cockatiel.
She likes to, put them in funny little poses and put pictures of them and talk about what they're doing. And so y'all give her a follow and maybe comment on some of her pictures.
She does little videos too,
Yeah.
so she's quite active on that Instagram account.
And she likes to edit just like her daddy. And she doesn't think she's very talented in that aspect. However, I know she's talented because I can't do it. And she says, Mama, anybody can do this. And I don't see it that way. It's not something anybody can do. You have to have that talent. Matter of fact, we got home yesterday from working over there, and the desktop computer that we have, she had changed the screensaver picture.
Yeah.
And I said, how'd you do that? And she said, oh, it's easy.
It's easy, Mama.
It's easy, Mama. Well, I've never done it, and I don't know how to do it. So,
it's easy, Mama.
I'm glad she can do things like that, because it's just something I can't do.
Yeah.
Not to say I'm not talented in other ways, but that's...
She's very creative, super creative.
Therefore, she loses things. Have you seen my
pencils?
And I told you I had enough to talk about, but I'm done.
You're done for the day?
I'm not done. I'll follow what you have to say now.
Oh, well, I just had thought of something and I completely lost track of it and what I was going to say.
Well, I will tell. I said I don't have anything else to say, but I'll get us started again. Okay. The site man has been working on the pad.
He has been working on the pad, and I have been recording that, and I decided that instead of doing 5 videos of this guy bulldozing and...
Put your hands down.
I talk with him now.
I know, but you're about to knock me out.
Oh, and instead of Greg, just videos of him bulldozing and rolling with a roller, doing 5 videos of this, I would just do 1 video of when he's done.
Okay. Well, that's a good idea.
I think that's what I do. I know what I was going to talk about is that, so we're getting the site work done, and we met with the architect to finalize the plans.
Right.
And get them printed, and that'd be it. And he showed them to us, and I did not like it.
Well, I kind of felt like when he showed it to me, we weren't on the same page at all, and I felt like it was my fault for not having gone into deeper detail with him on the garage and Mama's side of the plans. We went into deep detail about our side, and I'm talking with my hands, but I'm not going to knock you out. We went into great detail about ours, but we didn't get very thorough with the way we wanted the garage to face, with the way we wanted.
I kind of thought we did because I had shown pictures and I showed how I wanted it done, the angles and all that. And, we told him, the size of your mom's place.
Maybe he just forgot.
No, it had nothing to do with him at all.
Oh.
It was the fact that in my mind, I wanted to have it kind of V-shaped like this. And if you're listening to it, I'm sorry. But if you're watching the podcast, V-shaped like this. And this would be our house. And this would be the garage in your mom's house. So it was set up like this, and so it's set up like this. So when you pulled in, have a little circle drive, and you can pull into the garage.
Well, see, I didn't even know any of that part.
And that's what I thought, and that's what I had in my head. But what I didn't know or didn't take in consideration is our house is narrow and long, and so is the garage. So it didn't work. It didn't work like this at all. It was it was like this. Our house was like this, and the garage was like this, and you couldn't. It didn't work. And he kept changing the angle of it and all that, and I was like, this ain't gonna work. Turn it completely and have a 90 like this.
Well, I will tell you that I was very stressed out when we met with him that day.
Yeah.
Because I felt like we had everything covered, and here we were starting over. You know, the plans were almost done, but I felt like we were just not on the same page at all.
Well, when he turned it like this and put it, and then I made him move it down so it's kind of like a T, it just clicked and it looks perfect.
It does, but I also had it going long ways and long ways. Well, when we turned it like a T, we turned it narrow ways and long ways. And that was part that we had to kind of do over. You know, we had to kind of figure out, well, if we do it this way, where's the door going to go? Where's the breezeway going to go? How are we going to make it to where you can get in the garage?
Right.
Make a porch so Mama's porch is not looking at our house and our porch is not looking at her house. It was just a lot of stress that day that I wasn't prepared for.
It was stressful, and I think we were there 3 hours.
We were. And every time I'd have something in my mind, they'd flip that thing another way, and I was like, I just need to leave the room because I could not figure it.
So, ended up doing it like this, and it's 2 different roof lines, which is what I wanted. So it's exactly what I wanted, except on my fault, I didn't have it turned the right way.
Well, and then another thing was we ordered our doors and windows a month ago.
Yeah.
And after we turned this, we realized we needed one more door. And also we needed to take out 2 windows that we had already ordered and we had already put a deposit down on. Luckily, these 2 windows were added 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
So I called the supply house that we ordered our windows from, and Brian said, let me make a couple of phone calls and I'll call you right back. He called me right back and he said, I can get those 2 windows canceled. So that was great because they were huge windows that we thought we needed, but then after we turned we didn't need it. We needed a door instead.
Yes.
And so tomorrow I have to remember to call Brian because I sent him a text with the info for the door. He said, but please call me Tuesday.
Because Brian was off when you called him.
He was, but he did make that phone call.
He did all that on his day off.
On his day off, and he canceled those 2 windows. And our windows have transoms. And, I know what a transom is, but I didn't know what it looked like. So at 1:30 last night when Marycarl woke me up with the tooth, I Googled windows with the transom because I started thinking, I hope it's not going to be like round and modular looking when that's not what so I Googled it and it's not. It's a square.
Yeah.
But those 2 windows that we had added that Brian took away had the transom, and that made them more expensive. So I'm so thankful he was able to get those 2 taken off.
Yes. And
just got to remember to call and add that door.
Well, here's getting back to the house, the T. Here's another thing. So the day prior, Greg, who's doing the site work, he told me, he said, I've been out here thinking, and, you may want to put your garage on the other side because I can build you a road or driveway that comes around like this. He said, I just thought it'd be pretty. He said, I'm just throwing it out there,
So I get there, and Jason says, Greg mentioned we might want to put the garage on this side. And that was overload for my brain.
Very overload. I shouldn't even mention it to you because you started worrying and you kept saying this is wrong. And this is before we met with the architect.
Yeah. And I was like, well, if we do that, then the porch is going to be looking at Mama's house. And
yeah, you went haywire.
I could not figure out how we could fix it. And Jason said, well, just forget it. He just threw it out there and thought that it might be a good idea. And I said, okay. So I forgot it. And then when we met with the architect, we didn't mention, we talked about how hard it would be to flip-flop it.
Yeah, because he was flip-flopping, and I knew it wasn't that big of a deal, but you thought it was a big deal.
Well, I told Jason, I said, look, this is not a plan that we're buying on the computer. When you buy a plan on the computer, you can hit a reverse button and it flips it over. I said, this is an architect. He is a local architect. He doesn't have the ability to mash a button and reverse that plan. And Jason said, okay, well, we'll just leave it like it is. When we met with the architect, Jason said, how hard would it be to reverse that plan? He said, oh, it's hard. And I was like, see, I told you. I knew it was going to be hard. He said, this is how hard it is.
Click.
It's reversed.
He clicked with a button.
And I said, oh, my gracious. So we went home. We went back to the 40 with the intention of the garage going on the left and the house going on the right. Yeah. And the next morning after you spent the night, no. I got home that night and you sent me a text and you said, the more I think about it, the more I think that we should put the garage on the right and the house on the left. And I said, okay. I said, but under one condition, you call him.
I talked to the architect.
And I said, I can't do it because I do not understand all of that architecture. And so Jason hadn't even talked to him on the phone. I've been making all the answers to the questions he has, which is about where this will go and where this will go. I can answer that, but I can't answer about flip-flopping the plan. And so Jason said, okay, should I call him now? It was, 8 o'clock?
I don't know.
And I said, yes. And the next thing I know is I get a text back and it says, done. Flipped. And I was like, I was so proud of you. I told Marycarl, I said, your daddy just called Mr. Joe.
I did.
And he said, huh? She said, huh? I said, don't worry about it. But your daddy just called Mr. Joe. And you and Mr. Joe worked it out to where it needs to be. The next day when I got there, you kind of showed me. Yeah. It's going to be so much better with the garage being on the right side and the house being on the left side. It just needed to be done. And I'm so glad that you took the initiative, I don't know if that's the word, to get that done and take care of it.
Because I was standing, when you stand out there and look, you can see it. And
I see it now.
It would have been, we could have done it the other way.
It would have cost so much money. We would not have had a yard for the dogs.
It would have been labor intensive, way more site work.
It just didn't need to be the way it was. It needed to be flip-flopped.
It needed to be flip-flopped.
You flip-flopped it.
But now here's the only issue we got.
Oh, is this something I already know about? Because if it's not, please don't.
No, this is the only issue we have now, and I don't think it's that big of a deal, is that since we went from having the houses like this to like this, and then your mom, we added a 12-foot breezeway in between them, and then your mom's 10-foot porch that I wasn't accounting for.
Oh, okay. About the site work?
We have 30 more feet.
Yeah.
That has to be added to the pad, and Greg thought he was almost through. Well, I haven't seen, because it's been the Labor Day holiday weekend and all that. So we put a piece of paper on his
Friday
bulldozer, and it was a picture of just a temporary. I say temporary. It's the plan, but it isn't the plan.
All right.
And showed him
it's just a rough outline
instead of being 100 foot wide, it needs to be 130 foot wide.
And I left it on his bulldozer and I seat belted it in so he could see it.
Yeah.
That was Thursday. I know what day it was. It was Thursday because we weren't there Friday.
Right.
And so we left it and he came to work Friday afternoon and saw that paper, and probably, we didn't see his expression, was probably like, I thought I was done with y'all.
I can't wait to see him this week and ask him how bad he was cussing me when he saw that.
Oh, he wasn't cussing you, but they did call and left me a message because our phone service is not very good at our house.
Our phone service is not good anywhere. And I will say this, because people are probably wondering, why didn't y'all just call Greg or whatever? Well, it's a family
construction
business, and it's Billy and Greg, and that's the two the only two we've seen. I don't know if they got any more employees than that, but it's
we've talked to Billy.
That's his uncle.
No, Billy's a nephew.
Well,
Billy's the nephew and Greg's the uncle.
Yes, what I'm saying. So it's an uncle and nephew business, and Billy's the one we've talked to on the phone and who
I'm texting with,
and that's who number you got because that's who Ross gave you. But Greg's the one I've been talking to that's actually driving the bulldozer.
And we didn't have his phone number.
And I don't have Greg. I don't know why I haven't even asked Greg for his phone number. It's just
we hadn't
crazy,
needed to. We've been out there so much till we've done dealings personally. So Billy calls and I didn't have service, and I sent him a text. I said, I don't have service. I said, can you call Jason? Jason was on his way to the 40, and so he got Jason's phone number, and he called him, and Jason talked to Billy, who's the nephew, not the one running the bulldozer, and he said, Greg will get with you Tuesday.
Yeah. And he wants to make sure the width it needs to be and make sure we're all on the same page. And so
it's going to cost us a little bit more in site work.
Yeah, because we're adding 30 more foot to the pad.
And we turned it sideways. So, that's our fault, but we want it the way we want it. This is our long-term house, and it's not going to take anything away from us as far as time-wise because we don't even have our plans back.
Right.
We should have our plans back this week, too.
That's right. And it's also looks like, when talking to Greg, and he was like, we can move your driveway over here. And I don't know if you guys know or remember how it works, but, when we pull into the 40, we got our camper on the right side, and on the left side is that pasture, and there's a row of pine trees, and you guys really can't see it on our videos, but that was cut through, and that bank in some spots is 4 foot tall, and then it kind of gets lower as you go towards the barn in the back.
It was kind of a pain for us to go from the camper to where we're working on the pastures.
Yeah, I got blocks stacked up so we can walk over into the pasture.
I keep thinking one of those blocks is going to collapse when I'm standing up. I can feel it shifting a little bit. And I'm like, I made it. Every time I get on the top of it, I made it.
But he told me, he said, look, we can put your driveway over there. And
I like his
yeah, I know it.
Intuition.
And he said, I can cut this bank down and smooth it out and give you more pasture. And you can put some more pads out here because he's been seeing where we're building our new pasture out there. And at first when he told me that, I was like, no, this ain't because we're going to put our house on this side. But now, since we flipped it.
It looks like that row of pines is going to be right in front of our house. And that's not a pretty sight because it's going this way. Right. It's not like they're, blocking any.
Right.
It's not a good view. Yeah. And so I'm thinking, hopefully, while he's widening this pad, that he'll be able to take those trees out and make that a gentle slope to where we can pull a trailer in and get easier access into our paddocks. I think that would be a good idea.
I think that'd be a great
idea.
And
also during the night at 1:30 last night, it's probably 2:30 or 3 by this time, I thought to myself, okay, so you know how he took out that bank that's right in front of the camper until we can get that power pole moved?
Correct.
How hard would it be for us to move our camper up 6 foot so he can go ahead and take that bank out? Because
it really wouldn't be that big of a deal.
I would love to do that now because when we open that door, there's no way for us to put a fence or anything.
Just as long as the power cord's long enough. That's something I have to worry about.
We can disconnect the power cord, pull it up, let him do it, and back it back up.
Okay.
I want to do that because I don't like the fact that it's elevated right in front of the stairs.
Yeah.
I know it's probably going to take us a couple of hours, but heck, we got 29 days. I mean, that's a long time.
That's a long time. Got a month.
See how I've changed? No, that's not a long time, but I do feel like we need to have that done now.
I agree.
Because I just don't like the thought of letting the dogs out to go TT and not having any way to make a barrier there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we ought to pull the camper up, let him take that bank out.
Okay.
And get that over with.
I think so too. I think it's a good idea.
Or maybe we could just buy another power cord and back the camper up further. I don't know.
No, a power cord's pretty long we got, but I just don't know
disconnect
how long
it, let him take that bank out and pull it back.
Yeah.
While we're there, I mean.
We could do that.
We just won't have any dogs over there that need air conditioner during that time. But we are moving. We're moving along.
We're moving along.
We're moving along. The paddocks will house goats, which all the goats will be taken care of. Mm-hmm. So we're done with the goats.
Yes.
Well,
besides
we will be
moving them.
We'll be done with the goats. We'll be done with the chickens. Mm-hmm. Not all the chickens. We'll be done with the laying chickens. We'll be done with Nugget.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have fencing for Nugget. So really, the only thing that we have left is the Stilkies, and that's what I said we could possibly make the temporary housing for, until we can get that trailer over there.
Yeah,
because that's going to be an ordeal. Seems like.
Yeah, it does seem like.
I passed by. Your daddy told me a place to go look for a used tire. He said, just tell them as long as it holds air, that's all we care about. He said, these places, big trucks, they won't let their tires get, to a certain length before they replace them. And so when I was driving on 22, there's a place right there on the right. I can't remember what it's called, but I looked the other day and they've got oodles of big tires stacked up out there. And he told me to call them. Well, I'm not going to call them. I'm going to go by there. And I'm going to say, look, I'll pay you.
It's for a trailer.
It's for a trailer. He said, all we need to do is to hold air to get it from point A to point B. And then they'll be taken off.
Yeah, that's right, because we plan on taking that one off.
We want to put it flat on the ground, not on the tires. So, I'm going to work on that. If it doesn't get done in 29 days, then we're just going to have to build them some temporary housing.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling better, even just talking through this podcast. I know we got 29 days.
Yeah, because see, I feel like the packing and moving the furniture, to me, that's a day.
It is, but I'm worried about the shop. We've got so much stuff in that shop.
Yeah, I guess so. But a lot of that's going to go from point A to point B and not in the pod.
Well,
right?
It is, but then, that's going to take a trip to get it there.
Yeah.
So, you're cutting out just not even by loading it, by going from here to there and back. That's 2 hours. Mm-hmm. So I'm just thinking, we're into days by doing that.
Maybe.
But it's not like they're going to live in the shop. So if we don't get everything out, they're just going to have to bear with us and know that, our houses will be empty.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yeah, houses will be empty.
Houses will be empty. And I think we need to start working on moving furniture to the point to where we can get it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not necessarily getting it out into the pod, but just getting it all in one area.
Understand.
And then we got another pod.
Yeah, we got 2 pods now. Mama
has her own pod. And we had only gotten the 116. We knew that wasn't going to be enough for us and Mama. And so she has a separate pod now that's 16 foot. And she has our boxes. We got to start on that today.
Yeah.
Start putting her boxes in her pod. And then whatever space is left over, if there's any, then, we'll put stuff that we intended on going in the barn or whatever. But we needed to. So now we have 2.
We got 2 pods.
They delivered the second one Saturday. And I wasn't here. They gave me a window of 9:30 to 12:30. And Marycarl went to Piper's. And so I went and met Piper's mom, and the driver called me and said, "You still want the pod delivered today?" And I was like, "Yes, sir." He said, "Okay, well, I'm in Montgomery. It'll take me about an hour to get there." Well, I knew I wasn't going to be here because I had to come to the 40 to help you with the fencing. And I was real worried that he wasn't going to leave it to where I could get a car in between the two because, we got 30-foot span there, and those 2 pods are 16 foot.
Yes.
Side by side.
Right.
So I'm thinking, I said, please make sure that we can get a vehicle in between the 2. And he said, okay, yes, ma'am. Thinking to myself, I don't know how this is going to go because I'm not there to see it.
What was the same driver?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm not for sure, but I don't think so. And lo and behold, he did awesome. He placed it in a perfect position. The door's facing the right way. We can drive in between them, and we have 2 pods sitting in the driveway now.
Because the first driver was awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, so far we have had an awesome experience with this pod situation.
We have.
And that's going to save us so much time. I know we don't realize it right now.
Yes.
That is going to save. Just think if we had to go to a storage facility every time we had a load.
Yeah. No, this is way better.
So I'm thankful for pods for now. For now.
Yeah.
Can't give a ultimate review until it's all said and done, but for now I'm thankful to have them sitting out there. Mm-hmm. So what else you got?
I think that's it.
No, it can't be yet. We got 10 minutes.
What's crazy is we try to keep them an hour, but yeah.
Oh, we got things we can talk about. I have no doubt about that.
And you know what? I got a feeling once we get moved out there, we can continue them longer if people want to hear them longer. But
well,
we got things we got to do, and so we try to stop at an hour.
I tell you this, during my nightly thinking, I was wondering if we ought to go on and move all this stuff over there.
Yeah.
Because I need to get rid of this table.
thought about keeping the table.
Where are we going to store this table?
In the pod.
Okay. I hadn't thought about keeping it. But if you want to think about keeping it, then we'll leave this right here until the last minute.
No, I can take the legs and all of it off.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying instead of moving this equipment over there, then we'll leave this here until the last minute.
Okay.
Right?
It's just the perfect size for everything.
Well, where are we going to put it?
They don't see what's all on here. There's a lot of stuff on here.
Where are we going to put it in the new house, though? In the little office?
Mm-hmm. That was my plan.
Okay. Well, as long as you got a plan. I think we've gotten rid of everything we've got to get rid of.
I think so, too.
I took some stuff to the flea market, and it sold almost immediately.
Which we're happy about.
Yes, yeah. I was so happy. We took it Saturday morning, and Saturday evening, it sold.
It sold. Thank goodness.
So we really don't have that much more to get rid of.
Furniture we don't have. We do not have that much furniture.
No, but our new house is going to be larger rooms, and therefore it's going to require a little more furniture, so we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there.
Right.
So what are we doing today?
We are...
There's some rain on the radar, if you hadn't noticed. I looked at the radar first thing this morning, and it is some rain on the radar. I wish I'd brought something to drink. My throat's getting dry.
We are... This is what I think we ought to do. We can pack up some stuff and put in the pod today.
I think since it's getting on up into mid-morning, it would be about lunchtime by the time we get over there. I think we need to stay here and do stuff here until late this afternoon. If the weather holds up, let's go finish the fence. If it doesn't, then we'll go tomorrow. Okay.
That'll work because it was so hot yesterday that
it wiped us out.
This evening.
It wiped us out. Cooler. I don't want to be there at midday.
So I think that's what we'll do. We'll start packing up stuff here.
That would make me feel a lot better.
And then late in the evening, not late in the evening, but mid-afternoon, head over there. And I still got to upload this podcast.
Well, it might be that you spend the night tonight.
I probably will.
And then the tiny house is coming tomorrow.
Yes.
And so they told me they'd give me an hour leeway.
And I'll be there.
Well, you will, but will you go by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
I mean, I can head that way as soon as they give me the phone call, but you'll probably need to be there before me.
Right. So that's the plan.
So
we're going to pack today, work on the fence this afternoon.
Maybe, if the weather holds up.
It's going to hold up.
I hope so. If we could get that fence finished, we would be... I see that can be done. That's not an issue. I see that can be done.
The fence ain't no problem.
But I got to go.
We'll catch you on the next one. Y'all be good before she falls out.